Hi guys, thanks for tuning in to another video on ForgottenWeapons.com. I'm Ian. I am here today at the Rock Island Auction House. I'm taking a look at some of the guns that they are going to be selling in their February of 2016 regional auction. And the one I have here today is like a super cool kid's Christmas present or birthday present. This thing would be just awesome if you were about 12 years old. Or older, perhaps. However, this is a Marlin model of 1897 lever action 22 long rifle or 22 rimfire caliber rifle. Now Marlin first introduced a 22 caliber lever action repeater in 1891, 1892, and they proved to be really quite popular. So in 1897 they came out with an updated version which was actually a takedown rifle. You could break it in half for easier transportation. Now they had a whole bunch of different options with this gun. You would typically get it with a 24-inch barrel, but for example, you could special order 26 or 28. You could get round barrels, octagon barrels, half round, half octagon barrels. A lot of different options available. Now these were, I said 22 long rifle, that's true and not all of the truth. These would function equally well with short, long, or long rifle 22 cartridges. So for example, the one we have here is actually a 16-inch barrel, which is relevant. We'll get to that in a moment. The magazine tube on this could hold 16 shorts, 12 22 longs, or 10 22 long rifle cartridges. So take your pick. These were very popular for recreational shooting, for target shooting, just all around really handy little 22 caliber rifles. So what's special about this one is that this is a 16-inch barrel with a full-length magazine tube, and this was specially sold by Marlin as the bicycle model. The whole idea was that when you take this apart, both ends are short enough to fit inside the frame of a diamond frame bicycle. In fact, they actually sold it. One of the accessories you could get with it was a special leather case that would strap to the frame of your bicycle so that you could pack this away and ride down to the field or the dump or the swamp or the forest or wherever you happen to be, the shooting gallery if you were in a city, and you could take your rifle with you easily strapped into your bicycle. So Marlin sold this. This was back in the day when you could market something like this to children without anyone looking at you funny. Unfortunately for Marlin, it didn't actually turn out to be all that popular. In this configuration, the gun was $16.80, plus an additional $1.75 if you wanted the canvas bicycle case. It would be about $1 cheaper if you had a round barrel instead of the octagon barrel that this example has. And ultimately, according to Marlin's sales records, they only sold 216 of these bicycle rifles. Now they sold quite a lot more of the standard 1897 pattern guns with the longer barrels and sometimes longer magazine tubes, sometimes magazine tubes this length. But I thought it'd be really cool to take a look at one of these really quite rare bicycle versions, and that's just a really cool story to it. So why don't I bring the camera back here, and I'll show you how this comes apart. And the other cool thing is, once it's apart, we get a really good look at how the internals work, so we can see that too. So this is a very short, handy little carbine. As a lever action, it works just like you would expect. And of course, there is a tube magazine under the barrel. To load the tube, we press in this button. We can then pull the inner tube out, and then you would load cartridges in here. You'll notice it's shaped with a bullet pointing forward, and it's cut out for the rim at the back so that you don't load cartridges backwards. Fill it up there, and then so the inside here has a spring-loaded follower. Once it's loaded, close that up. This may have been an 1897 pattern gun, but that hasn't changed much on tube-fed 22s to this very day. It actually has a quite large front sight, which is nice. For a plinking type of rifle, that large front sight is nice and easy to pick up and makes this a very pleasant gun to shoot. Now, as for disassembly, we have this big screw on the side. I should point out this was patented by L.L. Hepburn in 1897 and used in this gun, but this same basic mechanism is still in use in the Marlin Model 39, which came much later. So to pop the gun in half, it actually, normally you would expect the two ends to pull apart like this. In this case, they don't. We actually pull the stock end off to the right, and the barrel end kind of goes off to the left. So it takes a little bit of force. This one's kind of sticky, but there it goes. I'm going to use a block here just to give myself a little bit of leverage. And there we are. So now we can get this, like I said, this really good view of how the action works inside. Let's start with the back end. So when I cycle the lever back, nothing really happens. But when it goes forward, this lug on the elevator catches on the front of the lever. It lifts it up, so now the cartridge is in line with the barrel. And now this lug is going to be interacting with the bolt. It's going to push the bolt forward, which is going to strip that cartridge off the elevator and into the chamber. And then the same piece of the lever here is going to hit this lug, which will push the elevator back down into position to take a new cartridge out of the magazine. We can see the hammer in this same position. The hammer on this is very simple. It just has two sear catches here and here. And when I pull the trigger back, releases the hammer, just like that. Now the half cock notch here has an angled catch so that I can't pull the trigger out because it's stuck inside that half cock notch. So that's why the half cock is safe. When I cock it the rest of the way, the regular notch, the sear notch here, has a flat surface on it so that I can pull the trigger clear like that. Whereas on the half cock, it's caught underneath. Now, looking at the upper half of the gun, this big square recess is where the lever interacts with the bolt, which forces the bolt to slide back and forth like this. Can pull the bolt out here. The bolt's really quite simple. Our firing pin is this guy right here. It's a rimfire, so it's going to hit at the edge of the cartridge, not in the center. There's our firing pin. Has just a little bit of forward and backward play. And then here's the back of the receiver. So barrel is up there, and magazine is right here. This round plug is the magazine follower. Thanks for tuning in, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. You know, I saw a bicycle rifle in the catalog here for this auction, and I immediately knew I wanted to take a look at that rifle. So if you would like to have this yourself, it is, of course, coming up for sale. If you take a look in the description text below, you'll find a link to Rock Island's catalog page on it, where you can see their description and their pictures, and if you're interested, you can place a bid or write online there. Thanks for watching.